It's in the game.
Give me a break, need another life. Oh, need another life. Give me a break, need another life.
Despite being behind on aggregate tonight, the Arsenal fans are still full of hope and faith that their team can pull off another impossible-looking result, as they have done in Europe all season. It's the second leg between them and Bayern Munich. Just 3 words have been echoed around London for tonight. Keep the faith. And that has been a phrase that has been with Arsenal all season long, as they have kept faith through the toughest of times. And tonight, it's not impossible. They take on Bayern Munich in the second leg of the Champions League last 16 here tonight. And it is not out of their reach. They're only down by a goal with a plethora of away goals advantage. So here's the story. Arsenal are down by 4-3. Bayern Munich won the first leg, and they were at home in the Allianz Arena at the time. Arsenal, we mentioned a plethora of away goals, and that's because Arsenal scored 3 of them. So if Bayern Munich were to score, well, they're ahead at the moment, this really still could go anywhere. But they would need to score 3 here tonight to avoid going out on the away goals rule. So, as we said, it's not all out of hope for Arsenal, but this Bayern Munich team is still stacked. You saw Harry Kane there, who was one of the scorers in the first leg. And I think they've got Wojciech Szczesny in goal tonight. Let's take a look at the lineup. He indeed is. Kim Mi-jae is also there in the centre of defence, with Kimmich and Ito and Guerrero and Kimmich as the rest. Amir is with Fahina tonight. Kingsley Coman and Sane were behind. I couldn't catch the last name. But of course, up top, as always, is the man, Harry Kane, who has scored a plethora of goals in North London derbies at this time. And he came back, well, Arsenal came to the Allianz Arena, and, they felt his wrath again as he scored, I think, 1 or 2 overall tonight. So, as you can see, Bayern Munich up by 4-3, but they are the away team tonight, meaning if there is a draw on aggregate, they could go out still. Here's Trossard immediately off the kickoff. Leandro Trossard has put it all beyond doubt. So now, the story is it just changed in a matter of seconds. And Mikel Arteta's team have come out of the box swinging, literally. And that now puts Arsenal ahead on goal difference. They don't necessarily need to win this match, but they do need to keep the score level at least until Bayern Munich has 3, and then we could go into an extra time and penalties situation. But Leandro Trossard has scored within a minute, and maybe, just maybe, it won't be getting that far. So Bayern Munich have been literally shell-shocked by that move. That changes the complexion of the tie completely, because now Arsenal can really... They can't coast, let's not say that. They can't coast, but they definitely have the advantage now. With the away goals rule, they would go through by 3-0, because Bayern Munich have not even just got here, and they're already a goal behind. So Patino, big night for him tonight, in the middle of the park. Obviously coming in for, I think it's Fabio Vieira. And Moreno is still out with an injury. There's Leroy Sané, I believe, another man who scores plenty of goals against Arsenal in City's kind of semi-dominance there, if you like. In the Premier League, that is. He now takes the corner. Don't expect Bayern Munich to be out of this tie there. They're not out of this by a long shot, as Kim Jae forces a header wide. Well, that man, he has overcome the odds plenty of times over just this season. It all looked all over in the FA Cup against Chelsea, didn't it? And somehow they managed to pull through despite a heroic effort from Unai Simon in goal in that FA Cup clash. Is an early shot there from Harry Kane. Unfortunately for him, it goes wide. David Raya, obviously, a clean sheet would be very hard to attain tonight with Bayern Munich's overall power, but they certainly wouldn't have expected that to be in the script, being one down already through Leandro Trossard, who is, I believe, still the highest scorer in the competition this season. That's his 9th goal overall, to add to the 8 that he scored against the Young Boys, and I think he scored another one in the group league phase before getting to this point. Leave it to Odegaard to Tomiyasu. Oh, that's a great pass, and here comes Saka. And he's run straight into Guerrero, actually. Former Borussia Dortmund man, if my memory serves correctly. It's Muzala, the other person I was looking for earlier. It's been brought out by Harry Kane. Coman couldn't get there, and it's an Arsenal throw. Usually Coman, Arsenal player, wasn't he? I think he was a youngster at one point. So he's back to face his former club today, or at least he was in the academy of it, I believe. Odegaard trying to pick out Alexander Isak. The goals have dried up a tiny bit for Alexander Isak. He's not playing, well, he is playing with the same kind of consistency and all that kind of stuff as you would, but he's just not scoring the abundance of goals he had earlier in the season. It's been pretty much all Kai Havertz for the most part for the second half of the season, especially since he came back from injury recently. He's saved Arsenal on a couple of occasions already this year from the jaws of defeat. Didn't really clear it convincingly back there, but Coman forced it out for the throw. Actually, it would be a goal kick, I think. Wojciech Szczesny coming up against his former club this evening. And it didn't start all that well, did it? And Leandro Trossard knowing exactly what to do to beat him. And now the score is 4-4. And Arsenal in the driver's seat now. Unless Bayern Munich do score again, of course. They can afford a 1-1 draw or a 2-2 draw on the night tonight. When it gets to 3-3, we'll start having to look at the extra time and penalties. But this really could go anywhere. Arsenal certainly have proven more than a matchup for Bayern Munich in this first leg. They lost ultimately, but they certainly are giving the European giants a run for their money. Here's Trossard again. And of course, this is a team that beat Atletico Madrid, beat Barcelona, and put up a spirited fight against Real Madrid in the league phase. And here comes, I think it's Sané into the box towards Harry Kane, and Coman shoots instead. And wow, that's a good save. Good save there by David Raya, and now Saka has chested it down and got away, and that could be a booking at the very least. It is against Konrad Lemieux. We've seen red cards given for that, but I don't think Lemieux was the last man, so a show of frustration there, I think. He did pull at Saka's shirt a little bit and didn't knock him off balance, because that's how good Saka is. And he took his frustrations out on him. He's probably lucky he only be in the book, to be honest, on that evidence. And here's Saka again. He's causing Munich all sorts of problems and has scored himself. Bukayo Saka has made it 2-0 on the night and 5-4 in aggregate now. It has been overturned. Arsenal now approaching that third and fourth gears. And they're looking to put it all beyond doubt. They don't want the away goals, all they want to win this match. And you have to really admire that kind of mentality. This Arsenal side deserves to win something. And with every week that goes by, the league is looking more and more likely to be heading back to the N5 for the first time since the Invincibles back in 2003. Hard to believe that was 20 years ago. Well, they're not going to be Invincibles this time around, but they're certainly going to be probably breaking all sorts of records in terms of just goal scoring. And they certainly scored some pretty goals in that time in the Invincibles era. So it's not like that hasn't gone away, because it's been rejuvenated since the signing of Isak. And even when Isak isn't scoring, everyone else around him is. Harry Kane forces to save out David Raya out for a corner. And he's made a difference. He's not kept as many clean sheets so far this season as he did last, but he is still leading the league in the Golden Glove standard. So he's still there. Arsenal's scoring pedigree has helped them through the toughest of times. Guerrero. And Arsenal certainly haven't had it easy this season. Lemire, and that's a good save from Raya again. He looks inspired by Saliba. To Guerrero, he's giving it away there, Odegaard. And now Harry Kane. He almost had the beat to give Saliba there, but he recovered well with Saliba, and another save for David Raya early on. As Bayern Munich continued, I think they're getting a bit desperate now, and they're pushing forward as a result. Common with the save from Raya again. That's Common with the resulting corner. And taken by Raya over his own teammate there. Really wanting to get to that ball. And Saka commits a foul, and I think it's going to be a Munich free kick. Now here's Harry Kane to take the free kick, and he's going to take it to J, who's come forward, and Guerrero's hit it, and it's out for. It's cleared away, but Bayern Munich get a free kick. It's a transfer we've known for some time. Of course, in the Women's Super League, Manchester United, of course, making a plethora of signings. It's so long ago now, to be fair, but they've made the difference as well. Very much the same as it is here this season for Arsenal. With the signings of the likes of Isak and even David Raya to an extent on a permanent deal. Something with a note where we want to change this side's completely. And that's what Mike Skinner has done with the United team as well. Women's Super League is being contested this year. It's just Chelsea have been relentless. And in that game, I believe it was at Stamford Bridge, where United really just got played off the park that day. I mean, contrast that with the men's side this season, and well, they're out of contention for pretty much everything at the moment. And it's certainly going to take a bit of a while for the likes of Sir Jim Radcliffe, to some extent. And Ruben Almiron, it's going to take a bit of a while to clean were really just, well, not clean, but definitely reset and go again. For United, they're going to need more than just a simple resetting. Here's Trossard actually taking Bayern to school. And he couldn't get the shot off there, but he did, but he couldn't put it in the corner. Tried to bend it round the keeper. Chesney nowhere. It's a good strike. Sane. He couldn't beat Kieran Tierney there. Good tackle. Oh, what a brilliant kick. And Trossard has kept it in. And Raya has done brilliantly, but Trossard now is all on his own. Oh, and he tried to cross it. He really should have just gone, continued the run there. Trossard wasn't his best decision. And to Kane and Kimmich again. Being a Bayern Munich, it feels like forever. Alfino finds Kane, who finds Sane. Sane's got the better of both defenders. Kane is in a pocket of space here. Declan Rice makes the challenge. No foul given. He got the ball first. A tremendous challenge by Declan Rice. That had to be spot on, and it was enough for the referee. A brilliant challenge. Arsenal deserved to win on that alone. That was great effort shown there by Declan Rice. He had to cover some holes that were left by Gabriel and Saliba. Ball was pinging around everywhere. Guerrero. Oh, he's pushed by Tommy Ashley was pushed by Combin, and they kept the ball. It should have been a foul, maybe. Saka. He's going to cross it in low towards Odegaard. It's a good save by Fortune Chesney, to be fair. Odegaard, you probably could argue, should be scoring from here. But Chesney is more than capable in his own right. There's a reason he's here and still thriving in a top club. Away by Harry Kane. We've got 3 minutes of added on time in this first half. Odegaard with the ball in. And Tierney's clearance. We go to David Raya, who has to head the ball forward. Unfortunately, I don't think any player at Bayern Munich saw that developing. Tommy Ashes probably took a bit too long with the ball though. Here's Corbin, and here's Kane. And there's a good save by Raya. In comes Sane. And he's been forced outside the box. He's going to take a shot on. Oh, and Raya saves again. And David Raya seems inspired tonight. And he may very much be so. Arsenal hit the ground running from minute 1 with Leo Trossard scored in the opening seconds to put Arsenal level on aggregate, which will put them through. Saka's second goal means they go through on the scoreline. And they're up by 2-0. They just need to hold on now. Keep the faith, as we said at the top of the show. Welcome back to the Emirates Stadium. There were nerves when the Arsenal fans walked in earlier tonight, but they kept the faith. And tonight that faith has been rewarded so far. Arsenal up by 2-0, relatively seconds from the kickoff. Leandro Trossard scoring his 8th or 9th goal of the competition so far, which drew Arsenal level on aggregate, but because of their away goals number of 3, they would have gone through on the 4-4 aggregate scoreline on the away goal rule. But Bukayo Saka scored a second, and that puts Arsenal ahead on the scoreline now. They want to make definitely sure of it. And it's been a fantastic night for David Raya as well. Made some splendid saves. And there was one brilliant tackle by Declan Rice as well. And Arsenal really have had Bayern's number tonight. Bayern have threatened, but the brilliance of David Raya specifically, and Declan Rice at 1.2. Here's Isak, it's in, 3-0. And that is game over, but he's offside. Oh, Alexander Isak. The goals have somewhat dried up for him a little bit. Here it was in through Chesney, and he was off celebrating. But then he realised the flag was up. I wouldn't say Isak has probably had a drop in form. He certainly dropped a little bit by his stellar high standards that he set earlier in the season. But it's not a cause for alarm or panic. Saka, he almost got through Lemire there, who's on a yellow card from earlier. Good back pass there from Gabriel, and he finds Raya. And next for Arsenal will be Chelsea once again, this time in the league. To Isak. Near to Guerrero. Bayern not out of this yet. But Hideki is pretty much against them now. Because if they score again here, it would still not progress. Arsenal would still have a 2 away goal cushion. And that looked almost a splendid pass from Alexander Isak. Except that it didn't end up that way. But it left his foot, and it seemed to be pretty brilliant. Ended up being overhit instead. Zula to Kane. Sane and tearing in the ball is everywhere. No one can get a real foothold on it. And Gabriel clears it for a corner. The stellar centre-back pairing of Gabriel and Saliba certainly proving a bit of a tough assignment for Bayern Munich so far. And headed away by Gabriel. It's only going to be as far as Guerrero. Bayern still keep the ball with Coman. Kane finds Sane instead of trying to take it on. And here is Guerrero, and Raya saves it. And then gathers it as well. David Raya has been tremendous so far tonight. Another great performance from David Raya. And everyone around him, to be fair. Well, the Emirates Stadium has been an absolute fortress this season, with Arsenal only losing, I think, a grand total of twice. Of course, they lost in the Carabao Cup to Manchester City. Alexander Isak makes it 3-0. And it is too easy. And that man is back amongst the goals. He needs one chance. And then bury them if you give him it. And he did. It's a splendid strike. Fortunate Chesney never saving that, to quote Martin Rundle in A Month of Sundays. And there's more tremendous play and link up between him and Saka. And honestly, I think Isak and Saka are becoming one of the most feared duos in the Premier League. If one doesn't score, the other will. And in some cases, they both score. Tonight, that's been the case. Arsenal 3, Bayern Munich 0. And it is a field day for Arsenal again. Could Arsenal really just win this thing? They certainly have proven more than a matchup for every opponent they have faced so far, even when they ultimately lose. And here's Sane. Oh, Trossard absolutely skipping through everyone. You'd think he'd have Kim Min-jae bin for pace. Kim Min-jae knew it. And the referee is going to bring it back for a foul. And a booking for Kim Mei-jae. Well, yeah, Trossard had him beat. And he knew it too. And he just needed to stop him scoring again. He probably is quite lucky to still be on the pitch. You've seen sending offs in similar situations. I think that's what Mikel Arteta might be discussing with the fourth official now, quite frankly. Arsenal really just cannot afford to get frustrated. Just continue to play their game, and things like this will happen. I was going to say, Trossard will probably make another chance out of it, but Harry Kane tackled him instead. Captain Martin Odegaard. Every bit as important as Isak and Riot. Martin Odegaard didn't really have the luck of the draw at Real Madrid. Oh, it's a beautiful step over. And he's going to challenge Riot. Riot's saving again. And it's come off Sane. Out for a goal kick. But as we were saying, Martin Odegaard. I mean, what a strike this is from Isak, to be fair. Chesney is struggling, but he's up against some top strikers and other players who score as well. But Martin Odegaard, like we said, didn't have the role, lack of the green at Real Madrid. Scored on very few occasions. Wasn't able to really get his name amongst the winners, the Galacticos and such. But here at Arsenal, since coming over on loan from, I believe it was Real Sociedad, he has absolutely thrived in his Arsenal setup. He is one signing that Arsenal, he's one of those just pieces that Arsenal have gathered over the last 5 years or so. And every single one of them has been an instrumental piece into what's happening now. Arsenal here on a big European night. And, well, taking Bayern Munich to school, quite frankly. Zala to Kane. Harry Kane has been relatively ineffective. Not often you say that. Sane. Tierney again. Tierney's actually been a bit of an unsung hero for me. He's done very well to come in for Zinchenko, who's been rather starting ahead of him as of late. I think it's big load management time from Mikel Arteta. I think 4 substitutes are going to be coming on. I think it's going to be Yuri and Timber's going to be one of them. I think Lewis Kelly's also coming on. Question is, will one of these substitutes be for Alexander Isak? He's been rather taken off as a substitute a couple of times over the last 2 games, but tonight he's been kind of back to his best. Even if it is only 1 goal. And he's Kingston Corbett. Harry Kane with a beautiful pass. And now Harry Kane! Oh, and Raya denies him as well. David Raya has been sensational. Zala. And I think in a way you've got to really feel for Daniel Jennings right now, because he had such a good performance against Celtic that has not played since. Not that you can really blame Mikel Arteta for that. David Raya is being kept on for a reason, and Martin Odegaard has scored what really is the Silla now. 7-4 on aggregate, 4-0 on the night. Arsenal have announced themselves among Europe's elite this season. Beautiful strike once again. Chesney nowhere near it. Captain Marvel again. Puts in the back of the net. And as we said, Arsenal have arrived amongst Europe's elite this season. They really do feel like they can beat anybody at the moment. And that man there, the great Dennis Bergkamp, never played in away games for Arsenal. I think it was due to some travel sickness he always had, I believe. But my goodness, when he was on the pitch, Dennis Bergkamp lit the place up. And he'll be very proud of his old team today, or his former team, we should say. Because these guys have absolutely, finally, it seems to have picked up where the Invincibles left off 20 years ago. Alexander Isak, that was absolutely tremendous touch. Oh, he deserved to score. It's unfortunate. And finally, well, Arsenal were last in the Champions League final back in 2005, I believe. And that's a penalty. Give it away there. And, well, it's not really going to change much in the complexion of the game. It's very unfortunate from William Saliba, but he doesn't really get the ball there. I don't think he can really complain about that one. Osa and Dyer coming on for Coman and Ito. I think it was Raheem Sterling that came on. And Harry Kane with the penalty. We immediately go over and take it. And Harry Kane wasted no time. Oh, it's vintage Harry Kane. I don't think David Raya was ever going to stop him, to be fair. I don't think Raya was actually ready. But I don't think it would have mattered. Harry Kane right in the corner. To be fair, it's well taken. Well, it doesn't change much in the complexion of the game tonight, but maybe, I mean, Bayern Munich would have to score 4 now to draw level with Arsenal on the scoreline of the night. 3 of those goals. So if Bayern Munich did score another 2 now, it would go to extra time and penalties. It would be 4-3 on the night, so Arsenal would still win the match, but they would have to play extra time and penalties, possibly. If Bayern got another 2 in the next 5 minutes or so. It doesn't seem likely, but we all remember that one year in which the league was over. Manchester United had done their part, and then Sergio Aguero happened. It's never over until that final whistle is blown by the referee. We take there by Raheem Sterling, who came on earlier. Timber was another, and Scully was another. And Fabio Vieira was another. So that's at least 4 subs made by Mikel Arteta. And that is a bit of a heavy touch and out for a throw. To Isak. This trip by Dyer. I believe that could be Eric Dyer, but I'm not sure. 4 minutes of added on time. And you have to say Arsenal have just about gone over the finish line. Zala. A good passage of play here by Bayern Munich. Where was this at the start, though, will be the question. Alvina. Headed away by Patino. He's not been phased tonight. Zala. Raya saves again. Oh, hugely unfortunate. The penalty was rightly given, however. Keywall has really slowed the ball. Turned too much of the ball to Leroy Sané, and Kane has scored a second. And I think it's going to be, unfortunately, just about too little, too late for Bayern Munich tonight. But they've certainly given Arsenal a bit of a scare here. Harry Kane doing Harry Kane things, really. Slotting it in the corner. Well taken goal, to be fair. I think that all started from Keywall really showing too much of the ball to Sané down there. 6 goals in 12 for Harry Kane this season. That'll be his last of this campaign for him in the Champions League, because Arsenal, as we said, may have just gone over the finish line here, but one more really makes it a bit more difficult. But Isak is going to hopefully, Arsenal would hope to make sure that it doesn't get that far, but all he's forced is a corner, but we're well over the 4 minutes now. Over the corner. Rafinha heads away. But we're in the wrong area here. And it's over. And Arsenal have just about got through, but the fight back in the first place was definitely admirable. The Arsenal fans kept the faith, and they got repaid in kindness tonight. Wonderful score, 4-2. David Raya will be a bit unlucky not to keep a clean sheet, but Arsenal played their best, and when they played their best, scores like this can happen. They got through despite the adversity. It's pretty much Arsenal's hallmark this year. Arsenal 4, Bayern Munich 2. So have a look at the scores from the second leg matches. So Real Madrid won by an aggregate scoreline of 8-3 in a 4-0 win tonight. Inter Milan lost to Borussia Dortmund on the night and on aggregate, so Borussia Dortmund go through. Juventus and Leverkusen ended 3-3, but a 5-4 advantage to Juventus sees them through. Atletico Madrid beat Celtic by 2-1 on the night, 3-2 on the aggregate score. PSV being thumped by Paris Saint-Germain, but only getting the draw tonight quite admirably, but the damage was already done the first leg, 5-2 in the end. AC Milan knock out Liverpool by 3-2 on the aggregate scoreline, and RB Leipzig, a very admirable performance, another 3-0 win, taking out Granola by 6-0 on aggregate in the end.